the horrific murder of a Playboy playmate. In the 1970s, Dorothy Stratten was a young woman of 18 years of age who lived and worked in the province of British Columbia. She had a charming encounter with Paul Snider while she was working, and he told her that she had the potential to be a famous model or actress. Because of his influence, he persuaded her to come to Los Angeles so that she could take part in the Great Playmate Hunt for Playboy Magazine. In Los Angeles, she would compete against other women. It had always been his intention to amass wealth with her assistance. Hugh Hefner, the person who founded and created Playboy, finally met Dorothy, and he made the prediction that she would become very famous due to the way that she looked. 1979 marked the year of her debut in the film industry, and she went on to star in a variety of subsequent adult movies. Her popularity continued to skyrocket, and the media never stopped reporting that she was well on her way to becoming a world-renowned celebrity. At this point in time, she had already tied the knot with Paul Snider. The stunning woman's life began to spiral south after she had an encounter with the renowned film director Peter Bogdanovich while she was working on one of her projects. While she was working in New York, she started having an affair with him. Paul Snider decided to hire a private investigator to follow her about after developing the sneaking notion that she was having an affair. When she got back to her house, she told her husband the truth about her feelings for Peter Bogdanovich, and she also told him that she wanted a divorce. Paul Snider was infuriated by the news, yet he managed to conceal his anger in that same moment. As soon as he found out that his wife desired a separation, he started taking a much greater interest in firearms. During the short time that they were married, he gave the impression of being someone who had an exaggerated sense of bravado and was desperate for his wife's financial and emotional support. After investing in a shotgun with a 12-gauge barrel, he enrolled in a few shooting classes. Dorothy went to Snider's house in August of 1980 in order to talk about the property settlement she had pledged to provide for Snider in the event of their divorce. Sadly, she was unaware of his plan, but he had no intention of allowing her to escape alive on that particular day. He fatally shot her at close range in the head, then proceeded to sexually attack her after she had passed away. Then he aimed the rifle at his own head. Dorothy Stratten was held in high regard by those who worked in the entertainment industry. She was a compassionate and loving woman, but she put her faith in a feeble and cowardly villain, and he ended up taking her life because of it. The kidnapping of a young girl. In 2006, a man misrepresenting himself as a police officer told a young child she had been arrested. She was handcuffed by Vincent Filia, who was dressed in his fake police uniform. On September 6, 2006, Elizabeth Schoaf was abducted as soon as she stepped off her school bus. She would then be brought into the neighboring woods by the imposter posing as an officer, which would start the North Carolina teenager's journey. Within a mile of her house, the man had an underground 8x8 hand-excavated bunker that he had previously dug for the kidnapping. Whether Filia intended to kidnap this specific person or whether she was simply at the wrong place at the right time for him to strike is still unknown. When they got to the bunker, he stripped her naked, locked her up by the neck, and started assaulting her multiple times a day for the next 10 days. Initially, police did not issue an Amber Alert because of her age and their perception that she might be a runaway. The victim's poise and composure while she was being held captive probably allowed her to calm down her abuser, and as a result, she was able to win his trust, giving herself more time. She was not only extraordinarily brave, but also quite intelligent, according to Captain David Thomley of the Kershaw County Sheriff's Office. She took a number of actions that significantly increased her odds of surviving. She had left her shoes near where she was being led into the woods in the hope that they might help someone find her. She also left hair strands behind in the hopes that search and rescue dogs would recognize her scent. After being held captive for 10 days, the victim persuaded Filia to provide her his cell phone so she could play games, but the victim had other plans entirely. She sent texts to her mother and friends after he went to sleep, and they then called the police. Sheriff Steve McCaskill believed the text message to be a hoax before the police were able to pinpoint the phone number. When Filya called Kershaw County's Department of Social Services, his ex-girlfriend gave the police Filya's cell phone number. Then the authorities started using nearby mobile phone towers to locate the bunker's location. When Filya's previous lover showed them the first bunker he built, Officer Dave Thomley realized Elizabeth Shoaf was underground in one. Thomley initially believed it to be a dump. Watching the news on a battery-operated television in the bunker, Filya discovered that he was being sought after. Shoaf advised him to flee in order to avoid being captured when he sought for advice. He left, and the following morning Shoaf emerged from the bunker and made distress calls until a rescue crew located her. Police claimed that Filya placed a booby trap at the bunker's entrance. He was taken into custody while carrying a taser, a pellet pistol, and a knife. He was arrested 5 kilometers from his home, accused of kidnapping, having a flare pistol, and impersonating a police officer, among other offenses. On September 19, 2007, Filya was given a 421-year prison term with no chance of parole after pleading guilty to all charges. The Kirkland Correctional Institution housed the offender, who had received the harshest punishment allowed under South Carolina law. Shoaf prepared a statement that was read by her attorney, since naturally she was too distressed to testify. Later, Elizabeth Shoaf appeared in the media on multiple occasions. Among these was a 2008 visit on The Today Show, where Shoaf and her family were profiled, and her fortitude and composure were praised. The entire incident was depicted in the May 28, 2018 Lifetime film Girl in the Bunker. Julia Lalonde, Henry Thomas, and Moira Kelly all played Elizabeth Shoaf, Vincent Filya and Madeline Shoaf, respectively, in the movie. On May 3, 2021, Filya passed away at McCormick Correctional Institution at the age of 51, with no known cause of death. The Millionaire Killer. Natalie Connolly, who was 26 years old at the time of her murder, was abandoned by her partner, John Broadhurst, a millionaire property developer, on December 18, 2016, and left to bleed to death. It was said that Natalie enjoyed having rough sex, and as a result, she died as a result of this at the hands of her partner Broadhurst, who showed absolutely no remorse for the cruel crime he committed against Connolly. This was rumored to have been the cause of Natalie's death. It was said that she had emailed images of herself to other guys, and as a result, Broadhurst was going to give her a lesson about the consequences of her actions. Broadhurst is responsible for inflicting 40 wounds on Natalie, including a fractured eye socket. This included sexually assaulting her with a carpet cleaning bottle, which resulted in an arterial laceration and internal bleeding when Broadhurst tried to remove the bottle from her and spraying her face with bleach in order to keep her from looking like a mess. At the time of the attack, Natalie was extremely inebriated from the combination of alcohol and cocaine that she had been using. Thus, she was unable to even attempt to fight or protect herself. Natalie Connolly was abandoned downstairs, where she eventually died of internal bleeding. Following his murder of Natalie earlier that evening, Broadhurst went straight to bed and slept through the night. When he finally awoke and called for an ambulance, he referred to her as dead as a donut in his description of her condition. As a result of his delay in calling for someone to come and rescue her, he pleaded guilty, and as a consequence, the Crown prosecution lowered the accusation to one of manslaughter, which carries a sentence of 3 years in prison. Connolly was not only murdered in cold blood, but her public reputation was tarnished as a result of Broadhurst's claim that she liked it rough and asked for more, as if to say that she asked for it, despite the fact that the argument was that there was little chance of her being able to express an opinion as to whether she liked it or not because she was so heavily intoxicated. She was defenseless when the assault took place against her. Therefore, as if killing her wasn't enough, he continued to tell the Scottish court what she was said to have liked and what she confided in him, despite the fact that she was no longer alive to defend herself against his claims. He was sentenced to 3 years in prison for the horrific slaying of his partner. This year, Natalie would have become 32 years old, but she predeceased us and left a young daughter to grow without her mother. So there you have it. Which story did you find to be the most intriguing? Let us know in the comments below. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to like and subscribe to our channel for more captivating stories. Thanks for watching, and see you soon in the next video.